What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel on this Tuesday, 21, 21st of February. It's Europa League week. We'll play on Thursday away to Nantes in a must-win game, and then we play again on Tuesday, the derby against Torino. That's on a Tuesday. A bit weird, but it is what it is. So it's a big week, obviously. Two big games in 7 days. Two must-win games. But yeah, let's see how that will go. We will build up to that. We will have a preview tomorrow and all that stuff. But in today's video, I want to talk about Tudor, but in general about the last couple of years because that's the main point, in my opinion. But please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification. Now, when I come on the show or whatever, live video, and I talk about that isn't good enough, and I talk about look at the bigger picture. I talk about the last 3-4 years. I don't talk about this season or a couple of weeks. You need to look at the bigger picture because winning a few games doesn't erase what happened and what's still happening at this club. Because if you just sit back, you can see that the club has been um, mismanaged completely. The entire board got sacked. Investigations. I think if you need more proof, if you needed any proof, there it is. But I think it was obvious. You sack Allegri in the first time because he failed against Ajax. You hire Sarri, who won you the league. You might say scraped it, but he won it. Team was on a decline, but Lyon happened, so you said it's time to go. Because the feeling with the club wasn't there. Blah blah blah. I still believe to this date that the club believed they could have got Pep Guardiola or any of those top coaches because it didn't feel planned to get Sarri at the time and all blah blah blah. But then they sacked him, and I felt they had no idea. They had no idea because I think it's proven because they announced Pirlo as under 23 coach, and then out of nowhere, a week later, boom, first team coach. And everybody was kind of shocked. Now, we didn't have the channel at the time, but when it happened, I was like, no, this is going the wrong direction because it felt like the club had no idea what they were doing. They were just throwing things against a wall and hopefully it will stick, and it didn't stick, because he got sacked after one season. Now, I didn't agree with hiring him. I also didn't agree with sacking him. Now, I saw good things under Pirlo. I saw very bad things under him. We scraped top four on the final day because Napoli failed to beat Verona. We all know how that went down. But I was one of those guys saying, don't sack him. Give him another year now. He has 1 year under his belt. You give him a few new players. You get rid of a few more players, and you start building with some sort of vision. And then again, if it doesn't take off, you can make your decision. But after a year, going back to what you thought wasn't good enough 2 seasons ago felt very undecisive, felt very wrong, felt very the club has no idea what they're doing again, and it has proven that they had no idea because we just made top four. We got embarrassed last season in Champions League against Villarreal. It got even worse this season in the Champions League. We were all over the place. We got dominated by very poor sides, which shouldn't be happening, but it's happening, and it's just not good, And yes, I know people will, and this is the point of the video. People might say if you add 15 points, we're second in the league, but we are miles away from Napoli. We got dunked on in the Champions League by Maccabi, by PSG, by Bam. We got embarrassed. We failed to beat the 13th place team in the French league. That's all happening. That's why I said look at the bigger picture because it's not good. It's not moving in the right direction. Now, why do I bring up Tudor? Because that's a talking point. He's doing very well at Marseille. I thought he did very well at Verona. I also thought I saw good things at Udinese, by the way, but he became the assistant coach. Not really, to be honest. The club put Tudor in place with Pirlo to help him out because he had no experience coaching, and Tudor did. So they put him out there, but and now I blanked out the name. Please help me in the comments. I cannot believe I'm forgetting him. I forgot the name now. Unbelievable. But Pirlo brought his own assistant. He wasn't the assistant on paper, but he was the assistant. It was his good friend, ex-player. I forgot his name. No idea why, because I had it. It will pop up in my head during the video. But he brought in his guy. He wasn't officially the assistant, but he was. And midway through the season, around this time, there were strong rumors saying that Tudor was not happy with Pirlo because Pirlo was pushing him aside and taking over total control. It was also at that time that the team started collapsing completely, if we're being honest. Like, we were scraping wins. We were waiting for Ronaldo and Chiesa to do the job. That was happening, if you go back. I believe it had an impact because, again, I'm not saying Tudor, world class, blah, 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 but he had experience as a coach. He did. And the moment those rumors came out, and they were from good sources, it all started, quote unquote, crumbling down. Now, the point is that even back then, I was like, what? And you might question, why did Tudor take that job? Maybe he took that job knowing or hoping he will, be the successor anytime soon because he knew how things were going. That's maybe a stretch. So you might question why Tudor took that job, be understudy to Pirlo, who never, coached a game in his life, was supposed to be the under 23 coach, and a week later he's the first team coach. You might question that. But the point is that the club put him in place because they knew Pirlo was very inexperienced. But the flip side is Tudor has moved on to do very well. You might say Pirlo is doing very well with the players he has at his disposal. You might say that, which I'm not really going to argue with you. But Tudor is doing a fantastic job with kind of they have some good players. I'm not going to lie. But they also have some cast-offs, if you want to call it. But he's doing a very good job. He's only 5 points behind PSG in the league. He's doing a fantastic job. The point is that we made him the assistant when maybe you might argue he should have been the first team coach. Again, at the time, I would not say hire Tudor. I wanted something completely else, But that was not going to happen. We hired Pirlo, but Tudor was also there. So that's why I'm bringing it up. I'm not saying you should have hired Tudor in the first place. I'm not saying that. I actually said keep Sarri. He won the league, start building. They didn't do it. They got Pirlo. I said do not Pirlo, do not hire Pirlo. They did. After the season, said okay, build with him. Give him another season. They also didn't do that. Why I'm not doing it with Allegri? Because Allegri has tons of experience. He has been at the club and it's not improving. We know which direction we're going. But the point is, we had Tudor, who is doing very well as an assistant, and he kind of, quote unquote, slipped away. He wasn't happy with how things were going. He wanted to leave. We all know. Now, is that another proof that how things are being managed at the club are not good? I think so, a little bit, Not the biggest one. The biggest one is sacking coaches every season, basically, and then go back to the coach you said wasn't doing a good enough job in the first place. It's like Salernitana sacking their coach 1 week later, he's back. And then 3 weeks later, he's sacked again. And he probably will be back again towards the end of the season to try to scrape staying up in the league, in Serie A and don't get relegated. But all those things kind of prove that it's not good. The club is not run very, very well. Actually, it's run very poorly the last couple of seasons. And yeah, I mean, it's strange. Again, I'm not screaming get Tudor back. I'm not doing that. I'm just waiting until the end of the season. I still believe Allegri will walk. Although maybe you might say the words from Calvo and Allegri talking about last season doesn't give you quote unquote hope or any indications that he will leave. But that's just my feeling, because of what the team will become next season. and what it will be the next couple of years. But I know a lot of people are saying bring in Tudor. I'm saying I'm gonna wait until the end of the season. Then I will say I want to do this or I want to do that. Not that it's gonna make any difference because the club is not gonna listen to us. Um, but yeah, that's also a situation. The Tudor Pirlo thing that took place within the club, and if you look at it, the big picture now, how they are doing, how we are doing, it's like, oh boy, And will it improve anytime soon? Who knows? Like, we only have Allegri and the players, and maybe Calvo at the team, in the club, knowing what they're quote unquote doing. Cherubini suspended, so it's not a good vibe around the club. There's also like looking forward, it doesn't look fantastic because again, you have a lot of lawyers in charge of the club now, and it feels kind of weird. It doesn't feel like a football club at the moment, but it is what it is, I guess. Let's see what will happen on Thursday, because if I don't believe we're gonna win on Thursday, I just don't see it. Nantes rested the entire team basically to play in the weekend. I forgot what they did, what the result was. They were losing 2-1. They were losing 2-0 within 15 minutes, I think. So I don't know the final score, but they rested a lot of players. They believe, and they should believe. Why wouldn't they believe? If they just look back at the previous game, why shouldn't they believe? And why should we believe? Again, I hope we win. I just don't have a very good feeling. And if we don't win, if we don't make it out of the playoff round against Nantes, 13 in the French league, I want to see what the club will come out in terms of talking in front of the press pre-game. Will the tune change? Probably not. But what will the vibe be? What will the leaks, quote unquote, be from good sources? That's going to be very interesting, in my opinion. But that's for Thursday to worry about, I guess. Let me know in the comments. Again, not saying bring Tudor back, all those things, but what do you think about that situation that took place? Basically within the club, it was underneath us, and the club didn't see it or like mismanage, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, let me know in the comments. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you back later today.